الرحمن الرحيم. وقال الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا لولا أنزل علينا الملائكة أو نرى ربنا لقد استكبروا في أنفسهم وعتوا عتوا كبيرا. يوم يرون الملائكة لا بشرى يومئذ للمجرمين ويقولون حجرا محجورا. وقدمنا إلى ما عملوا من عمل فجعلناه هباء منثورا. أصحاب الجنة يومئذ خير مستقرا وأحسن مقيلا. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا. الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا. ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا. يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا. لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا. وقال الرسول يا رب إن قومي اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا من المجرمين وكفى بربك هاديا ونصيرا. وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا. صدق الله العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم ربنا إنا نسألك أن تجعل هذا الجمع جمعا مغفورا وأن تجعل تفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا منا ولا بيننا ولا حولنا شقيا ولا محروما. اللهم إنا عبيدك بنو عبيدك بنو إمائك نواصينا بيدك ماض فينا حكمك عدل فينا قضاؤك. نسألك اللهم بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء أحزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا. اللهم ذكرنا منه ما نسينا وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا وارزقنا تلاوته آناء الليل وأطراف النهار على الوجه الذي يرضيك عنا. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك، ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك، ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا، ومتعنا اللهم بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقواتنا ما أحييتنا، واجعله الوارث منا، واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا، وانصرنا على من عادانا، ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا، ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا ولا منتهى آمالنا ولا إلى النار مصيرنا، واجعل الجنة هي دارنا ومصيرنا، ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك فينا ولا يخشاك ولا يرحمنا. اللهم ول أمورنا خيارنا ولا تول أمورنا شرارنا. اللهم ارفع مقتك وغضبك عنا. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to stand before great faces this morning with my few remarks. Today being the 30th of December 2024, we are here for another personal development workshop with Associate Professor Ahmed Adamu, organized in partnership with the Readers Hub and the MPS Media. The annual personal development workshop started in the year 2021 with 60 participants, and they were trained on speed reading, followed by the year 2022, which hosted 150 participants with the theme Public Speaking and Emotional Intelligence. Then last year, 2023, we had about 250 participants with the theme Master Your Mind, Ignite Your Success, a Transformational Incubator. As this year, we are having at least 450 participants, alhamdulillah. Jazakallahu khairan, Professor. May Allah increase you in iman and wisdom. And to our guest, Mr. Jilani Aliyu, you are most welcome to Katsina City, and we are glad to have you here. And we sincerely appreciate your presence. We promise to listen attentively to all you have for us today, inshallah. For the guests, about Readers Hub. The Readers Hub and Community Development Initiative is a center for personal growth and development, societal orientation and advocacy for socio-economic development. The vision of the Hub is to equip all members with relevant knowledge, skills, and right attitude to reach their full potentials. The Readers Hub was established in 2018 and was registered with Corporate Affairs Commission and recognized by the National Library of Nigeria. It has a board of trustees chaired by Professor Sani Abubakar Luga, as well as executive council led by Dr. Mukhtar Abraman Damalan, and a team of events and activities that runs day-to-day affairs of the Hub. Our vision is a society where every individual is well equipped with relevant knowledge, skill, and right attitude to reach his or her full potential. Our mission. The mission of Readers Hub is to facilitate the growth of individuals for societal development. Our programs and projects goes like this. We have weekly programs such as monthly book discussion, where a book is decided and the members read, and we converge at the end of the month and we discuss the lessons learned in the book. We have in-house presentations where members of the Hub are given the opportunity to come and share their expertise and knowledge with the members. We have expert presentation Here, the Readers Hub extends its invitation to individuals outside the community. They also come and share their expertise and experience with the members. We have brainstorming session, we have panel discussion, we have movie and documentary, we also have games. Then there is annual programs. We have the Ramadan Iftar, where the Readers Hub collaborates with the Kazina Daikin Kara Enterprise and the Kazina City Toastmasters Club. They collaborate on Iftar to promote kinship and collaboration. We have annual book camp, where a day is set, the complete day is for reading books. Then we have personal development workshop, just this one that we're having now. We have International Youth Day, as it is celebrated by the United Nations. We have poetry evening, where the poets in the house come and showcase their talents. We have International Mother Tongue Day. We have International Youth Skills Day. Then our project is career guidance and counseling. We have partners. Number one partner is Lumilab. It hosts our organization, house our secretariat, provide us with presentation gadgets. Lumilab, we are grateful. We have MPS Media. They always cover our annual personal development workshop. MPS, we are grateful. We have National Library of Nigeria. They hosted our 4th annual national annual book camp. They hosted the kids summer class. They also hosted the readership campaign. The National Library, we're also grateful. Then we have SD Media. They covered our 4th annual book camp. SD Media, we are grateful. Also, we have volunteers for Cause Kazina Hub also. We are grateful. Thank you very much. We have the Last Man TV, which they cover our monthly book discussion live. Thank you, Last Man TV. We are grateful. We have the Kazina City Toastmasters Club, where we have the joint annual Iftar session in Ramadan with them. Thank you, Toastmasters Kazina City. Having all this for our members, we have some certain skills that the members acquire. Number 1, public speaking. 2, leadership. 3, project management. 4, presentation skills. 5, writing and content creation. 6, teamwork. 7, networking and social skills. Then 8, management skills. Thank you for having me.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Muhammad Sanusi Adiri. I'm the Financial Secretary of the Readers Hub. It is an honor for me to stand before you to give the Secretarial report of the Readers Hub 2024 wrap-up. Please, the slide. Alhamdulillah, 2024 has been a great year for us. We can see that we have at least 15 activities within there. I will begin with the book reviews, or the books we read in 2024. As our name, the Readers Hub, we use reading to inculcate leadership, courage, perseverance, and to help our members to reach their potentials. In January, we start with goals by Brent Tracy, in order our members to have clarity of their goals, how to set them, how to have focus. In February, we read How to Think Bigger. The book talks about how to think bigger, to forget about your current limitations. We have goals, but our limitations are telling us that I cannot achieve this. So we read How to Think Bigger in February, in order to see that the goals we have set in January, by reading the book of Brent Tracy goals, we can achieve them. In March, we read The Productive Muslim, being it Ramadan this year. The book talks about how a Muslim can be productive, and he reminds us that the Islam world is very productive. If you see, there are centuries of and many scholars that make great contributions to astronomy, philosophy, psychology, who are Muslim, devoted Muslims, and they are productive with their lives. In the months of April, we read Everybody Writes. In this book, we learn how to write, how to draft letters, how to write everything, even on internet. On the month of May, we read Abubakar's memoir. We read his life from where he come as a young boy of 7. He came to Katsina from Kagara. How he, from a classroom teacher, he turned to a journalist. How in 1936 he became the first or the winner of Northern Nigeria writing competition. And we learn from that he win this because of his reading habits and advantage he get from knowledge from his father, being an imam and a scholar, and his elder brother, Malam Bello Kagara, or Malam Muhammad Bello Kagara. In the month of April, we read My Princess Corden, a book written by a Katsina-born author, Lukman Umar Kankia. In this book, we read about how love take Malik from his town to a Fulani settlement, that is Uruga, and at the end, he narrowly escaped his life due to the bandit attack to that community. In the month of July, we read Thank You for Arguing. This book teaches us how to be persuasive, how to put your arguments. And in the month of August, as you remember, 2024, if we see the data of Nigeria, all of us in the month of August are very, very afraid of what is the outcome of end governance protests. So we read this book, Nigeria Dancing on the Brink, by former U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, John Campbell, to see what is happening, what brought about this, and how can we mitigate or how can we save our country. In the book, he makes recommendations that the government should put funds into human development, infrastructure, and end corruption that is threatening the sovereignty of Nigeria. In the month of September, we read Meeting That Get Resolved by Brent Tracy. In this book, we learn how to set goals for your meeting and how to achieve them, and how to, especially sometimes in meetings we used to digress. In every meeting, you have to stick to the agenda of that meeting. In October, being the month of Nigeria's independence, we read Soldiers of Fortune. It narrates what happens from 1983 to 1993, from the divorce of Shehu Shagari to the last days of General Ibrahim Babangida in the Bila. We see what has happened, what led to annulment of June 12, 1993 elections. From this book, we learn a lot about Nigeria and that shape what is happening today in the country. And in the month of November, we read How to Sell to Nigerians by Akin Alabi. In the book, we learn that Nigerian customers are different. We learn the psychology and how to attract sales from Nigerian customers. And lastly, in this month of December, we read about Animal Farm. It's a book written in 1945 by George Orwell. Even though the pseudonym is a writer, it's a British writer. He writes about what is happening then in Russia. But the book teaches us that human nature is universal. People are greedy. People always protect their self-interest. And sometimes they will disguise as saviors, but at the end, they will serve their interest. So these are the 12 books that we have read in 2024. So please, can you go back to the slide before that one of gallery? Back, please. So that is about 12 books that we have read. We have 13 book reviews. Even though I said 12, we have carryover of December last year, 23 book review, so we did it in 2024. We have 7 in-house presentations. We have 6 movie and documentary sessions. I will highlight 2 of these. We watched a movie, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. It's a story of a Malawian boy in the early 2000s. Due to poverty, his parents cannot afford his school fees. He was expelled from school. But he used to sneak to the library and read about how to use wind to generate electricity. As I am speaking today, that boy, his name is William Kokomba. He is residing in the in the US. He's an inventor now. So in the movie, we learned that through resilience, you can achieve what you achieve despite the difficulties. Then the documentary, we watch Revolution of AI. in that documentary, we see how AI is shaping many industries in healthcare, agriculture, education, transportation. And we learn how to come in, because we have seen in the documentary, now in the Europe, they have driverless car. If I'm a driver, how can I come in so that this driverless car will not take my job? So in that movie, we learn how to prepare ourselves for this takeoff by AI. And we have 11 expert presentations, 2 panel and brainstorming sessions, 6 annual events, and 5 gaming sessions. So in all, we have 15 activities within this year 2024. Please, you can go to the next slide. Yes. So these are some pictures of the session that we had and activities in the year 2024. Please, you can go. So this is our annual book camp that held at National Library this year. This is a group picture. This is a kids summer class we organized in collaboration with National Library of Nigeria, Katsina branch. Next, please. And this is one of our gaming sessions. As you can see, this is international business. We are learning how to have money. This you can go to the next. So this is career guidance and counseling session, outreach to family support secondary school in collaboration with Volunteers for Cause Katsina Hub. This you can go to the next slide. So this is our annual iftar. So you can see how people are enjoying the iftar there. And next, please. So this is some pictures of our activities at Lumilab. Next, please. Thank you for listening.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. For people that need convenience, it's towards the end of the auditorium. There is both for gentlemen and the female. So if you need convenience, it's at the end of the auditorium. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Our host today, Professor Ahmed Adamu. Our special guest, Malam Jinana Aliu, and other invited guests, the readers of executives, MPS Media. Good morning, all. My name is Yusuf Hamisu, and I'm a data scientist. So I'm going to make a presentation on the discussions we had this year at the Readers Hub in our WhatsApp group. So if you are in the Readers Hub group, you will know that we used to have very rich discussions. We have many people in different disciplines, expert in different endeavors. So we used to have very rich conversations. So I feel it is was doing an analysis of how who are the top active members in the group. What are the active times members are active in the group, which months we have the most activities, and also I use a machine learning technique in order to do a sentiment analysis on all the conversations that we had. So I use exploratory data analysis technique in order to gain insight into our discussions. I extracted a text file of all of the message, all of the text in the group, containing 4,239 messages. I extracted it and I cleaned it and I analyzed. So this is the data before cleaning. This is when I extracted it and uploaded it into where I did my analysis. So this is how it looks like. And then in the next slide is how the data looks like when it is clean. So this is the data when it is clean into date, time, who sent the message sent. Next one. So we are going to see who are the top active members in the group. So if you are in the group, who can guess who are the most active members? Who can guess? Who? Okay, Faisal. Then who? Okay, let's see. So, yeah, you are right. Faisal is the most active member, followed by Engineer Ruma, and then Dr. Mukhtar. We also have Majid. He used to send very hot poetry. we also have Smart Abdul Malik, then me, myself, and then Bello Dahiru, and then Malam Umar. Malam Umar used to share opportunities a lot, so he's one of the top active members. And then I think this one is Aliu. He joined the Readers Hub last year after an event like this, and then he went out to become one of the most active members in the group. So Aliu, and then our BP. Next one. So let's see what are the most active hours of the day in which members are active when the conversations are taking place. Yeah, so as you can see, in the morning, the most active hours start from 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. And then in the evening, the most active hours are between 9 p.m. in the evening and then 10 p.m. So if you want to spark a discussion in the Readers Hub group, you should target this specific time. The next one. So let's see our most active months. So yeah, as you can see, so the data start from April 2024, and then as you can see, the conversations spike. We are more active as the month goes on. We became more active. So our most active month in the year is October. Next one. Yeah, so let's see the hot topics. What are we discussing about? What are the most frequently talked about topics in the group? So I did this word cloud to see. So of course, Nigeria. If you are in the group, you know that Readers Hub members are very patriotic citizens. So Nigeria is one of the most talked about. And then we have we have many words. We have scholarships. We have thinking. So these are the topics. Yeah. Thank you. Next one. So I use a machine learning technique in order to see the kind of conversation. So this technique is like a computer reading to see it is the conversation. What kind of conversations are taking place? Are they negative or positive conversations? So this is based on the words. We cannot decide whether the conversations are positive or negative based on this. It's just that the words which the machine is trained. So yeah, so 60.4% of the conversations are neutral conversations, and then 33.5% of the conversations are positive, and then 6.1% negative. So this is just based on the kind of the words used, based on the kind of the words used in the conversations. Yeah. So next one. So these are my recommendations based on the analysis. It's very preliminary analysis. We can get more from the data, but due to it's very short time, so this is what you are going to do. So I recommend for the management, for important announcement, we should target in the morning, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the morning for important announcement, and then 9 to 10 p.m. in the evening. So I also recommend that sessions should reflect the most frequently discussions in the group to ensure maximum engagement of the members. And also I recommend that relevant sessions should be separate across throughout the year. So this is the link where you can see how I did the analysis. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Abdurazak Bello. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol, please. Malam Nasir Erupai famously wrote that data is the new oil. And as we know, as we navigate through this era of data, its importance cannot be overemphasized. Last year, at a similar event, the Readers Hub unveiled its 5-year action plan, which focused on members' personal development, the Hub's plans and values, and overall the community development. And today, I'll briefly dive into some of the activities in the last 12 months and members' overall sentiment since when they joined the club. If you look at the screen, You'll see from the screen that on average, members of the Readers Hub were able to read 12 books in the last 12 calendar months, with 47 number being the maximum number of books read by our members, by some of our members rather. In our WhatsApp platforms, we have two platforms. There is Readers Hub General, which is everyone, both registered members and guests alike, while we have another WhatsApp group of premium members. The general group has a total number of 591 members, while the registered members group is 230. So I implore this about over 300 number of all registered members to come and register. In terms of age distribution, for those that are actively participating in our activities, you will see that those that are within the age of 18 to 24 makes the highest number of participants in the last 12 calendar months, followed by those within the age bracket of 25 to 34, and then 35 to 45. Moving on swiftly, distribution of registered members, as the survey focus is filled by those that are mostly active. You will see from the screen that about 73% of our members are registered, while about 20 plus members are non-registered. So I implore this 20% to try and register with the Readers Hub because of the benefit. In terms of occupation, 46% made up of the students that are actively participating in our activities, followed by those who are employed, comprises of 27%, and then self-employed 16%, followed by unemployed, which is 10%. So you can correlate the unemployed at 10%, and I can assure you by next year this 10% will go lower, definitely. As the vice president mentioned that Readers Hub organize activities with various organizations. So if you look at it, a chunk of our members participated in activities that is in relation to with other organizations, followed by boot camp. And then if you look at this time series, you see from between 2019 to 2024, since after 2020 rather, our membership drive has been rising. Next slide, please. So, in terms of effectiveness of our members, you'll see that about 70% of our members confess that they have a personal development plan. And then, how do members achieve this personal development plan? Is through our activities, series of activities, from book discussions, in-house presentations, expert presentation. Those are the activities that our members utilize to achieve their personal development plan. And when we ask them to rate the effectiveness of this plan, you will see from your in the slide that 70% confess that these activities really help them to achieve their personal development plan. So without wasting much ado, last but not least, we ask our members, how likely are you to recommend our activities to other people? As you can see from the screen, 60% feel like they will very likely recommend Readers Hub to their family and friends. So at this juncture, I will thank you very much.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Mukhtar Amalam. I'm the president of the Readers Hub. The Readers Hub basks in the glory of the greatness of its members, their generous contribution and tireless dedication and sacrifices. We take immense pride in celebrating and appreciating some of their remarkable contributions to the hub. We may not give certificate to everybody, but we can still sample few for their contribution within the reference year 2024. To minimize the time, I would like to call all the people that will give certificates to come to the podium, and then after all of them come to the podium, then we will give them the certificate so as to minimize the time. I would like to start with our special guest, Malam Jelani Aliyu. Associate Professor Ahmed Adamu. Architect Tasu Sanusi Saulawa. Lumila. Mustapha Shehu. Yusuf Umar Usman. Muhsin Gambolawal. Naupal Ahmad. SD Media. Lasman TV. Jamila Lawal Abdul Samad, or her representative. Aliyu, are you around? Okay. Sanusi Shaibu. Abdul Ahad Musa. Mahmoud Salisu Abdu. Khalil Binyaminu Mairua. Khalil Bukam. Abdul Aziz Tukur. Muhammad Sagir Suleiman. Zubair Mukhtar Dan Musa. Zubair. Yusuf Hamisu. Muhammad Balakado. Okay. So, sir, I would like you to please present the certificate to them. Then, after you and Associate Prof would like Alaji Sara. He's been immensely contributing to the hub. We thank him. Yusuf Umar Usman. Okay, he's also very supportive. He provided us with mic and tripod. When we want to start live streaming of our activities, we don't have gadget, so we throw it up that we need some gadget, and he provided mic and tripod. Thank you, sir. Muhsin Gambalawal, very supportive, huge financial contributions. Okay. Malam Naupal Ahmad. Okay. SD Media, for covering some of our activities, especially the book camp. Lasman TV, for covering our monthly book discussions. Okay. No, Jamila Lawal Abdul Samad, providing mic. Sunusi Shaibu. Abdul Ahad Musa, one of our external auditors. Mahmoud Salisu Abdu, outstanding contribution in book camp. Abdul Aziz Tukur, volunteering to design our certificate. Mahmoud Sagir Suleiman, for his contribution in book camp. Yusuf Hamusu, the lead of our graphics team, always designing our flyers. And now I would like to invite Alhaji Siraju Aminu Makera to present to our special guests. This certificate of honor proudly presented to Malam Jelani Aliyu.
Assalamu alaikum. With great pleasure, I present this certificate to Malam Jelani Aliyu, an icon in automobile and technology, not only in Nigeria, but in the whole world. Assalamu alaikum. I am humbled to present this to Associate Professor Ahmed Adamu, and we are all proud of his achievement, what has been doing, and the way the youth that is bringing up, in the way that is bringing up. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you with Al-Jannah Firdaus.
Okay, thank you very much. As I said earlier, we cannot present certificate to everybody, but we appreciate everyone. We don't take for granted the support, the contributions from all and sundry. Thank you very much. Jazakumullahu khairan. We would like to recognize the presence of our father, the Honorable Commissioner, Prof. Abdul Hamid. You are welcome, sir.
One of the most interesting things in life is that we all have the same 24 hours, but some are more successful than others. What makes the difference? We all have the same resources, but the outcomes are different. We are not being paid for the time we spend. We are paid for the value we add. The biggest challenge in life is, how do we add value to our lives? To add value to your life, one of the most important things to do is to pursue personal effectiveness. And I'm going to share with you the 12 elements of personal effectiveness. Personal effectiveness is your ability to achieve the desired outcome using limited resources, time, and energy. Some of the most limited resources in this world are time, money, and energy. How do you minimize these limited things and achieve great things? You have young people achieving more success than old people. Somebody might live 70 years, but might not have achieved much as a 25-year-old. The difference is in effectiveness. If you want to be successful in life, the first target is personal effectiveness. Efficiency. How do you achieve more in less? How do you achieve more in a short time? It takes other people. In a shorter time, it takes other people to achieve it. If it takes 1 hour to do something, how do you make it happen to you in 30 minutes? This way, you're going to improve your personal growth, your professional success, and you have fulfillment. And I'm going to take you through these 12 elements of personal effectiveness. For you to be successful and to have personal effectiveness, the first thing you need to do in your life is to set a clear purpose. So number one is set clear purpose. What is purpose? A lot of people mistake motivation as, or rather goals, as purpose. Goals are not purpose. I always like to give the story of one of my business class students who walked into my class, and I asked him what was his purpose for being in my class. And that's the perfect story to illustrate the definition of purpose. One day, one of my students walked into the classroom, and I asked him, "Why are you here?" He said he was here for the grade. And I asked him, "Why are you here? Why do you want the grade?" He said, "Because he won the certificate." "Why do you want the certificate?" He said, he wants to get promoted. "Why do you want to get promoted?" He said, "Because he wants to get more money." And I asked him, "Why do you want money?" He said, "Because he wants to buy his mother a car and a house." There is a big difference between buying his mother a car and a house and the grade he gets in my class. But they are related. Because without the grade, he will not get the certificate. Without the certificate, he will not get promoted. If he cannot get promoted, he will not get the money. If he does not get the money, he cannot buy the car and the house for his mother. So goals are the staircase, are the steps toward your purpose. So his mother's car, his mother's house are his purpose. And I told him that anytime you walked into this classroom, the first thing you need to think of is your mother's car and your mother's house. You either pay attention and your mother gets the house, get the car, or you don't pay attention and she loses them all. If you change your perspective to now looking at your purpose, not your goal, you realize that you are putting more energy and attention to what you are doing, and they make more meaning, and you can see the connection of the dots. So set clear purpose for your life. You can set clear purpose for your personal life, for your social life, for your professional life. Because without purpose, we cannot have a baseline to say whether you are successful or not. Because for you to manage everything, the first thing you need to do is to measure it. If you cannot measure success, then you cannot manage success. The easiest way to manage your success is to identify your purpose. If you know your purpose, then you can say, how far are you getting closer to your purpose? If you are moving closer to your purpose, then you are successful. If you are not getting closer to your purpose, then you are not successful. So I want you to set clear purpose for your life And ask yourself every time, what I'm doing right now, is it linked to my final purpose? If it is not, then stop what you are doing right now. Every time, whatever you are doing, ask yourself, is this thing that I'm doing right now helping me getting closer to my purpose? A lot of people take money as their purpose, but money is not a purpose. Money is just a means to an end. It has never been the end itself. So young people, don't chase money, chase purpose. When you chase purpose, the money will follow you. So set clear purpose. You cannot begin life without a purpose. That is why even God, when He created us, He said, this is your purpose. The good creation was made for a purpose. So you also, in your life, you should have your purpose. A man without a purpose is just like a car without an engine. It cannot go. It cannot progress. So the first thing you need to do, sometimes you might be making so much effort, but you're not seeing progress because you don't have a purpose. So task yourself. The first thing you need to do when you walk out of this hall is that I want to sit down and define my purpose in personal life, in professional life, and in social life. Number 2, for you to be effective and successful in life, you need to learn the skills of prioritization. It's not everything that you must do. Some things are meant to be deleted. You want to do them, but you are not going to do them. They are important, but they are not as important as other things. You need to know what to prioritize on a daily basis and in your life. Because your life is a composition of the daily activities you do. You win the day, you win your life. Because if you target every day, those days becomes your life. Every day ask yourself, what is my most important thing today? Prioritize that, achieve that. You realize that most of the times, difficult things are the most important things. Don't shun away from difficulty. If you are chasing and doing difficult things, you are going to be the most successful person, because everyone shuns away from difficulty and importance. Some things are difficult, some things are easy. Some things are important and some things are not important. So I want you to draw a matrix. Here it says difficult, and under you say easy. And on the vertical column, you say important and not important. When you wake up in the day, you have 2 choices. You can follow my style. Normally when I wake up in the morning, I start with the most difficult tasks. I start with the most difficult and important tasks. Why? Because if I can overcome difficult tasks, the small task becomes easy. If I can push a mountain, then lifting a small sand is easy. Or you can be like one of my students who she said she would rather start with the easy and important things to encourage her to want to build more, because she could see the success she has built. Because success breeds success. When you achieve success, you are likely to achieve more success, because you are incentivizing yourself, you are rewarding yourself, you are happy you've seen what you have covered, and then you want to do more. You either start with the difficult and important things, or start with simple and important tasks. But never do difficult and not important. And anything that is not important and could be easy, you can delegate it. Let someone do it for you. You need to learn the skills of delegation. There's so many things that you are not meant to do them, but to identify people around you that have the power, the skills to do these things. Number 3, I want you to avoid procrastination and distractions. There is no way you can be successful if what you do is delay tasks, activities, projects, studies, degree programs, courses. You delay everything. This is the time for you to do it, but you are not doing it. because you are waiting for the next right time to do it, you keep delaying things and life will not wait for you. And I'm going to give you 3 hacks to avoid procrastination. Procrastination is you want to do something but you are not doing it. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to do it. Tomorrow arrived, you are not doing it. I will do it next tomorrow. Next tomorrow arrived, but you are not doing it. You keep delaying the task. Effective people don't delay tasks. So I'm going to give you quickly 3 hacks to avoid procrastination. If you find yourself delaying things that you are supposed to do these 3 things. The first thing you need to do is to schedule it. Anything that you think is difficult, you can't do it, you have been suspending it, you've been delaying it, the first thing you need to do about it, schedule it. Anything that is scheduled will be done. This workshop was scheduled. And that's why, by the grace of God, it's happening. One of my students told me, he said, "Sir, I'm going to be a millionaire at the age of 25. He scheduled it. And now the boy is doing very well. He said, I will have my first 50 million naira at the age of 25. At that time, he was just barely 20 years. He scheduled when to be a millionaire. Anything that is scheduled is going to happen by the grace of God. But do your part by scheduling it. So any task that you are delaying, tell yourself that I'm going to do it so date, so time. When the time comes, you have to do it. That's number 1. Number 2, the next thing you need to do to avoid procrastination is chunk the activity, or rather chunk the task. Chunking is spelled as CHUNK, meaning that I want you to divide the task into pieces. You don't want to look at the task as a big task. For example, you want to write a speech. You don't want to sit down and write the whole speech at once. The first thing you need to do is, I want to start with the introduction, and then the body, and then the conclusion, and then researches to support whatever you are adding. So now you chunk the project into pieces so that they become tiny tasks instead of this big intimidating task. That's chunking. The next one is start from the beginning. Anything you start from the beginning, you are likely to finish it. There is this psychological effect called Zeigarnik effect. Zeigarnik effect is a psychological effect where the brain would like to remember the things that you've started that you have not finished. Anything you started and you have not finished it, the brain will keep thinking about it and will not rest until you finish it. So start from the beginning, no matter how difficult it is. If you want to become a millionaire in your life, start from the beginning. You're likely to finish it. If you want to become a millionaire in your life, you want to have your first 50 million in next year, target 1 million in January, 2 million in February. You are chunking your ambition and you are starting from the beginning. Avoid distractions. I will tell you more about distractions in this presentation. And I want you to apply the principles of time blocking. There is no way, which is number 3 now, time blocking strategy. There is no way you can be personally effective person if you don't have time management. One of the best recommended time management strategy is called time blocking. You block your hours. You block your time. When the time arrives, you do nothing but that thing that you said you're going to do at that time. So, block every hour. The moment it's 9 o'clock, I'm going to start reading books. When the 9 o'clock arrives, you must do it. You block that 9 o'clock. Whatever you are doing, you must stop it and do it. The next one, we are going to number 4, right? We are going to number 5. That means you are following. Number 5, I want you to do discipline and self-control. Discipline and self-control. I always tell you, I don't want you to be a disciplinarian or to be a disciplined person in your life. Don't be so disciplined in your life. But I want you to be disciplined in doing one positive behavior. pick one behavior and be disciplined in doing that behavior. And if you can build the behavior and then pick the next behavior and build the discipline in doing this behavior, then you are likely to be successful. So the moment you say you want to be a serious person in your life, disciplined person in your life, it's hard, it's difficult. But pick one behavior, pick one action, and be disciplined in doing it. When you say you want to do something, do it. Stick to your words. Stick to your promise. That's also part of discipline. But I want to share with you the one most important predictor of success is self-control. Nobody has ever been successful without self-control. Even our parents, Prophet Adam and Hawa, or the Eve, they were sent out of paradise. Why? Because they lost self-control. And that is why even God said, those that will go to hellfire are the people who lost their self-control. So the measure of success in hereafter and in this life is self-control. You want to do it, but it's bad. You are tempted, but it's going to harm you. But how do you stop yourself from the temptation? Your ability to resist temptation is self-control. It's a major determinant of success. There was a research that was conducted with children when they were presented with sweet and chocolate, and they were told, if you eat it now, you will not have an extra. But if you remain patient and you don't eat it now, you will have an extra. Those children that resisted the temptation to eat the sweet and did not eat the sweet and waited for the extra sweet, when they were chased 40 years after in their lives, they were found to be more successful than the ones that ate their sweet, because they could not delay gratification. So your ability to delay gratification is a major determinant of your success. I give you 10,000 today, or you wait for 15,000 in February. Which one? If you can delay and say, okay, let me hold on and wait for February and have 5,000 extra, you are now practicing your willpower. Anytime you practice willpower is like a fuel in your car. Anytime you use it, it drains. But with rejuvenation, with resting, you refill your willpower tank. So always have a rest when you practice willpower, because it's not easy. Sometimes Shaitan and our evil mind will ask us to do bad things. We resist it. We don't want to do it because it's harmful. The more you do that, the more you are draining your willpower. So relax, sleep, rest, and then you rejuvenate, you refill your willpower. I'm going to talk more about willpower as well. The next thing we're going to talk about is number what? Number 6 is continuous learning. Continuous learning. You cannot be successful if you don't learn daily. Some people say, hey, Prof, I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm learning. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm learning. Yes, you are. But I want you to do this most important learning. It's called reading. Reading. If you read, you are doing active learning. But when you are watching YouTube, you are doing passive learning, because you are not processing the information, you are receiving the information. But when you are reading, you are taking the words, you are translating them, you are creating the image, and you are enhancing your imagination skills. And intelligence equals to imagination. Any person you see who is intelligent and smart, he has nothing but imagination. So you can practice your imagination through reading. That's why readers are smart and intelligent people. So when you want to learn new things, don't just go to YouTube. Read. Learn new things from books. Unfortunately, you have enemies. These enemies are disguised as your friends. And unfortunately, most of these enemies in our lives, they were born out of advancement. But they limit our progress. Even in an Indian movie, you have the actor. you have the boss, right? In your life, you are the actor of your life. But every actor must have a boss. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوًّا مِنَ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. Every person has an enemy. You too, you have an enemy. But your enemy is not a physical person. Your enemy sometimes could be digital technology. And that's why I'm going to share with you 3 ways in which technology is your enemy. Technology, though born out of advancement, is very good, but it limits you in these 3 ways. Number 1, I call it digital deluge. Digital deluge. Digital deluge is because of technology. Now we have all the information around the world available in our fingertips. Overload of information. There's so many things that you want to learn. You can read, you can watch, you can listen. They're all available on your phone, on your computer. But which one do you do? This is overwhelming and add to your stress. So technology has led us to have overload of information beyond our processing capacity at a time. That's number 1. Number 2 is called digital dementia. Digital dementia is when 10 people went to the Casino City restaurant and they bought a food and the bill was 100,000 naira, and they were asked to equally contribute to pay the bill. How much each of them will contribute? 10,000, right? But do you know what they've done? They brought out their calculator and they were typing 100,000 divided by 10 people just to get the answer, the simple answer. What your brain can do, now you're asking your brain not to do it. You're asking a computer to do it for you. And the theory of use states that anything that you don't use, you lose it. You either use your brain or you lose your brain. The simple arithmetics of 100,000 divided by 10, you cannot ask your brain to do it, then your brain loses its power. Anything you don't use, you lose it. Even if it is currency, you keep money in your house for 5 years, 10 years, you don't use it, you lose that money. You have a cloth, you kept it and you're not using it, you lose that cloth. Anything you don't use, you lose. If you don't use your brain, you lose a brain. The brain only thrives through complexity. The more you challenge the brain, the bigger the brain becomes. And the brain, once stretched, it will never shrink back. So stretch your brain by challenging it. Give it a very difficult task. The task she cannot do, ask the brain to do it. That's digital dementia. And then the last one is digital distractions. You are here in this conference, some people are searching internet, are looking at TikTok, Instagram. Just putting your phone on the table, though you are not using it, a portion of your brain is thinking about the phone. So when you are at an important conference like this, switch off your phone, put it in the pocket, and pay attention. And I want to caution you about what I call the social media trap. Because the brain likes fun. The brain likes beautiful things and entertaining things. You brought out your phone, you swipe one video, and you like it. The brain will start dancing inside. Say, wow, we are enjoying this video. Where is it coming from? Oh, we are looking at internet. Okay, let's do more of it because we are happy. The brain will tell you to keep doing it. Because the moment you're happy, there is a dopamine that is being secreted into your brain. It's a hormone called dopamine, a happy dopamine. That's when the brain is happy, dopamine is secreted. And then the brain will keep dancing, we're happy. What are we doing? We are swiping video on internet. Okay, let's do more. Again, swipe, next video, you are happy. Very easy and cheap happiness. And the brain now will say, keep doing it. Whenever you stop doing it, the brain will say, hey, what did you just stop doing? We were happy, but you just stopped doing what you are doing that made us happy. Because the dopamine that came through easy and cheap things will easily go easily and cheaply. Anything that you earn easy and cheap goes easy and cheap. Don't make your dopamine very easy and cheap. Make your dopamine expensive. Because the dopamine will drain immediately you stop swiping your videos. So you become trapped and doing it again and again to keep flooding the brain with the dopamine. And then you waste hours doing nothing while other people are doing valuable things. So be careful about social media. Make your dopamine comes from doing projects, achieving milestone in your life. Some people could not even wait for 1 month project for them to be happy. After this conference, we are all going to be happy. How much time, thought, energy was put into this. At the end, we get dopamine. We are happy. This dopamine comes from difficult tasks. Make sure the dopamine comes from difficulties, not from easy things. Dopamine that comes from difficult things is the dopamine that stays longer. The next one, number what? Which number are we doing? We are going to number 7. Number 7 is get feedback. Feedback. You cannot be successful. You cannot be the best. You cannot be perfect. You always have your weaknesses. Ask people to tell you, how am I performing? How am I doing? Tell me negative feedback. Constructive feedback. Even though negative. And I want you to practice what I call the 360-degree evaluation. Where you pick some certain trait in your life, evaluate yourself on these traits, and ask other people around your life to assess you on these traits. And see if there's a gap between what you think of yourself and what other people think of you. Which one are we more of? Am I more of what I think of myself or what you think of me? Which one? Are we more of ourselves or what other people think of us? The second one is what other people think of us. Let me give you a story of one of the CEOs. One of our staff was telling me that she was very mean and difficult woman. She thought she was on top of the world. She was the best and simplest and the kindest human being. But all her subordinates thought she was rude, mean, and bad person. But to her, she thought she was the best. Because leaders, when you go to certain stages, people are afraid to tell you you are quacks. They will not tell you your negativities because of your high position. They will always tell you, you are doing well. While you have done bad. And they are holding negative feeling, but they will not tell you. And then you build on that and think, oh, you are the best. You are wrongly informed. Or rather, you are misinformed. So here is the catch. What I want you to do is assess yourself. And say, okay, I scored 90% in kindness. And you ask all the people around you, your spouses, your friends, your colleagues, everyone around you, ask them, how will you rate me in kindness? If you rated yourself 90% and the rest of people rated you 20%, which one is correct? 20 or 90? 20%. So if you see disparity, then you need to work on that. But if there is consistency, you rated yourself 90 and other people rated you 90, then you are doing well. But if there's a big difference between your judgment and the judgment of other people, no matter how high you think of yourself in that area, you need to bridge the gap. Introvert, they might think they're the best public speakers. They can speak well, but other people think they are not outspoken. But deep inside themselves, they think they are great speakers. So always, every end of the year, conduct 360-degree evaluation to know the gap, areas where you are going to work on. You don't just go to 2025 without thinking of which gap to fill. You are just walking around the street with your fingers crossed. You don't do that. You have to fill the gaps to grow. That's number 7. Let's go to number 8. Adaptability to difficult circumstances with a positive mindset. No matter the economy, no matter the government, be optimistic. Because the government might not change, the economy might not change, but the only thing that can change is you. And you can change your outcome. When coronavirus came, people thought that's the bad thing that ever happened to humanity. But since the coronavirus, educational system has transformed. We are now being exposed to digital education. That's growth. I have a very difficult boss. Whenever I see him, I don't see him as a negative person. I see him as a trainer. I see him as somebody who will train me on my emotional intelligence. When you go to the gym, the coach in the gym will push you, will give you heavy weight and ask you to lift it. It's painful. Though painful, but you are getting benefit. What benefit? You are getting muscle growth. You are benefiting. So also, these angry people and negative people, when they are angry to you, look at them as your coach. They're training you how to control your emotion. If they insult you, abuse you, criticize you, embrace it. I say, okay, let me accept this as a practice, to practice my emotional intelligence. Always receive life with positive mindset. Let's move to the next one. Number what? 9, emotional intelligence. I think 2 years ago, we spent the whole day talking about emotional intelligence. But we cannot overemphasize the importance of emotional intelligence. Because many young people, they are what I call the emotional time bombs. They are just waiting for the slightest provocation and they will explode. And that is why when event happen, you don't react. There was a time I regretted in my life forever when I slapped someone. And immediately I regretted it. What happened to me at that time was what I call cognitive hijack. Cognitive hijack is when you react, it was not your conscience, it was not your head, but it was your emotion that was acting. So when event happen, people react. Event, reaction, event, reaction, event, reaction. I want you to do one thing. When event happen, don't react. Do something in between. I call intercept. Intercept is where you withdraw yourself. Allow time. Go home. Be like a bystander, like somebody who is watching by the side and watching at the scenario. How will you react? What are the possible reactions? And what are the outcomes of every reaction? And then make the right choice. Then you react. Part of emotional intelligence is you being aware of your feeling and the feeling of other people. Not just your feeling. You've done something. What have made the other person feel about it? Look at people's faces. I can look at their faces and know whether you are happy right now or not. Be conscious of people's faces and emotions and flex. And also be aware when you know that you have cognitive hijack, control yourself. Self-control is a major determinant of success. The next one, number 10. Number 10 is communication skills. Also, we talk about communication. Was it last year? No, 2 years ago. One of the most important communication skills is listening. Communication is not about talking, but listening. A lot of people say, I want to speak. I want to be heard. One of the habits of highly effective people is that they seek to understand than to be understood. When you walk into the room, don't try to make other people understand you, to hear you, but be a listener, want to hear from people. So I don't have to talk about public communication skills because you guys have done it last 2 years, but you can also hone your skills in this area through other readings. The next thing is number 11. Number 11 is personal health and well-being. Personal health and well-being. If you die today, the world will not stop. If you die today, some people will still go and do party. You are responsible for your health. You are responsible for your well-being. All these goals will not happen if you are not healthy, if you don't have a good health. And I'm going to give you 3 things that I want you to focus in 2025 to help you live longer and healthier. 3 things it makes you become healthier and improve your well-being. Number 1 is sleep. They said, Prof, I've been sleeping. I work overnight and I sleep in the morning. I say, no, you are not sleeping. You are just passing out. There's a difference between sleeping and passing out. Sleep has a benefit only during its biological hours. If you don't sleep during the biological hours of the sleep, you don't get the benefit of the sleep. How long is enough sleep? An average people like us adults here, the minimal hours of sleep is 6 hours. The maximum is 10 hours. If you sleep 10 hours above, you are now weakening your brain, because your brain does not want to be lazy. The brain wants difficulty and complexity. And you don't want to sleep less than 6 hours, because your brain needs the consolidation, the sanitation, the tissue repair, which anything less than 6 hours is not enough for the brain. When you sleep, your brain does not sleep. When you are asleep, that is when the brain is most active. That is the time when the brain will start cleaning itself of the toxic molecules that we are the byproduct of what you are doing right now. Listening, talking, seeing, and all these things are now piling up in your brain as toxic molecules. But when you sleep, the brain will clean them. It's just like sanitation. When you sleep, that's when consolidation of knowledge happens. All these things you are hearing, you are going to forget 48% of it in the next. You are going to forget 80% of it in the next 48 hours. But whatever you are going to retain is subject of repetition, review, and sleep. Because it's only when you sleep that this consolidation of information in your brain gets cemented. When you learn new skill, it does not get cemented into the brain unless during your sleep. Count your sleep based on cycles. Every sleep cycle is 90 minutes. I'm recommending you to do at least 4 to 5 cycles of sleep. So count your sleep based on cycles. The first cycle is where you are half awake, half asleep. You go to the second part of the cycle, 90 minutes, when your body temperature is going down and you are getting the body resting. But when you go to the third and the fourth cycle of your sleep, that is when consolidation, sanitation, and the cementing of information happen in your brain, and the tissue repair. Sometimes idan ka sha wahala har fuska ta fada, amma idan kai bacci sai ta dan ciko. So that ciko one happens in the third and the fourth part of the sleep cycle. So that is a state that you don't want to wake up. And then you go to the REM cycle, which is rapid eye movement sleep cycle. That is when the most inspiring and empowering dreams happen. And I want you in 2025 to always listen to your dreams. God will not come down and give you like wahi, revelation, or talk to you. But God can send you signal and instructions and ideas in your dream. When you wake up in the morning, then open your eyes. Close your eyes. Remember what dreams you had. Write them down. Have a dream book by your bed. Write all your dreams. You are going to see consistency sometimes in your dreams. Many brilliant ideas and innovations we are seeing in dreams. Are you now exploring this window of your willpower, of your subconscious mind, that is most empowering mind? She can only talk to you through your dreams. So sleep is the most important thing in your life. It is the most productive thing in your life. The most important productive thing that you can do today is adequate sleep. Some people say, I have a program tomorrow, I have a project tomorrow, I have a defense tomorrow, and I will not sleep tonight. What you are saying is, I don't want to succeed in that thing tomorrow. the easiest and the best way to prepare for the next big project is to sleep well a night before the event. If you have a big exam, sleep well before the exam. Your brain is relaxed. Otherwise, you forget it. The number 2 thing that you can do in 2025 to live healthier and live longer is the food you eat. Be careful. We kill ourselves with the food we eat. Most foods are poisons. You can see young man but looking so old. It's nothing but the food we eat. The food makes us look older and weaker and sicker. So be careful of the food you eat, because you can be a young person by age, but your brain can be old. The brain does not age with the body. You can see an old man but with a young brain, and you can see a young man with an old brain. What's the difference? The food we eat. Most diseases, cancer, diabetes, all these chronic diseases are from the food we eat. And I want you to change your diet. Sugar is dangerous. Minimize it. Junk food are bad. Processed food, avoid it. Fried food, limit it. No pain, no gain. If what you do are easy things, then you don't amount to success. I want you to change your diet into mostly green vegetables. I know the economy. How hard is it? Some food are very difficult. You can try fish, you can try eggs, you can try broccoli, blueberries, avocados, walnuts. These are, but if you don't have it, you can just have it once in a week, twice in a week, right? And most importantly, take a lot of water. Water is important. Even if you are moody, you are not happy, take a lot of water. If you have headache, don't take paracetamol. Drink water. If you have mental block, ideas are not coming, take water. Take a lot of water. It helps with your brain and your heart. Anything that's good for the heart is good for the brain. So focus on the food you eat. And then the last thing under health and well-being is exercise. So do these 3 things. We talk about sleep, we talk about food, now exercise. When was the last time, ask yourself, you exercised at least 1 hour in a day? Exercise is life. You don't do exercise, you don't have life. Because when you do exercise, that's what I call novelty. Novelty is a creation of new neurons in your brain. Your brain always generates new neurons inside it. But how does that happen? Through novelty. When you move, your brain groups. I don't have much time. I have my guests waiting here. So I'm going to run you very fast now. So just do exercise is very important. Then build decision-making skills. Decision-making skills. Some of you might have watched me when I traveled to Qatar this month. Yeah. And the only thing I taught was about decision making. And I want you to study about paired comparison technique for decision making. A lot of young people, they have difficulty in making choice of careers, even choice in relationships. Someone once asked me, he said, "Prof, I have 3 girlfriends and I want to marry. I don't know which ones to pick." And I said, don't look at them as 3 of them. Look at them as pairs. Let's say we have Lady A, Lady B, Lady C. Now you take A versus B. You look at them. You neglect C. Look at A and B. Which one will you pick? If you pick B, then B versus C. And then see whether which one you pick. So don't look at things in their whole. Look at them in pairs. That means in 2 pieces. And then compare and pick and use the one you pick against the next one. That paired comparison. Even if it is a career, even if it is a journey, anything you want to do, whether which project to undertake, use paired comparison. You can use also decision-making metrics. which is also a bit complex, where this young man, I advised him and I told him, I said, if you want to choose a wife, out of these three, you follow this process. And I said, what do you value the most? Maybe he likes intelligence. He likes someone who is neat and tidy. He likes someone who can cook well. He likes someone from his tribe. He likes someone who is religious. Mention every criteria you like in choosing your spouse. But I want you to rank these criteria. What is the weighted value of each criteria? And maybe intelligence, for me, of course, I'm going to give intelligence 50%. So maybe 50%. Maybe ability to cook, maybe 5%. Or maybe clean and tidy, maybe 10%. Beauty. A lot of young people will choose beauty. Maybe beauty, you give it 2%. Beauty is not important. But somebody said, Kai. But if you can get that, that's a bonus. But the other things I must say, so you can now do your ranking and give a weight to everything. I might give beauty 2%, he might give beauty 60%. And then go for each girl, now score her in beauty. Out of 100, what did she score? Maybe she got 70. So then 70 multiplied by the weight of beauty. If you give beauty 2%, then she got 70. 70 multiplied by 2%. That's her weighted average score in this criteria. And then you go across all other criteria and you sum. The lady with the highest number in the weighted value of your score is the one you're going to marry. Subject your choice to systematic thinking. Remove your heart in making decision. No emotion in making decision. A lot of people marry because of what they feel. But emotions blind us. We don't see what is in the brain. Always allow the brain. When I play badminton, one of my coaches said, he said, Prof, play with your head, not with your heart. So in life, play with your head, not with your heart. Inna nafsa la amaratun bisu. In most cases, your heart is telling you the bad choice, but the head will always tell you this is the right thing. If you watch the old cartoon, when a young man has two angels, one positive white angel on the right arm and the negative on the left arm. This one is always telling you to do the bad thing. This one is saying, no, don't do it. Mostly this one is the heart. This one is the head. Conscience always tells you the truth. Master decision-making skills. So many courses you can go online and search skills of decision-making. Mostly making wrong decisions affect our lives. Decision-making is a skill. Don't just make a decision like that. Learn your skills. That's number what? 12. But I don't want you to do all these things at once. Pick the ones that you want to start doing. Build on it. Because practice makes what? Practice makes what? Very good. If you don't say progress, I walk away. Because 4 years is not be today. 4 years don't work. Nobody carry go, right? So 4 years I've been teaching you that practice makes progress. You don't aim for perfection. Never aim for perfection. Because perfection is relative. But when you aim for progress, you reward yourself. You look at the progress you achieve. So I don't talk more about that. But before I go down, one of the things that I mentioned even in the promotional video of this event, I talk about the more you go, the higher you go in life, the harder, the steeper the price. When you want to grow at lower level, the price you have to pay for the growth, for the elevation is small. But when you start climbing the ladder of success, the price becomes harder and even more expensive. Your ability to pay the price to climb to the ladder is determined by two things: your personal development and your purpose. These are the things are just like your ATM to pay to climb to the next ladder of your success. A lot of people, they want success in their mind. They say, I want to be successful, but they're not willing to pay the price. You want to be a millionaire, and then they tell you what to do to be a millionaire, They say read one book in a week. You say, no, I can't do it. You're not willing to pay for the price. Pay the price and you climb to the next stage. A lot of people just envision what they want to do, but they're not willing to pay the price. How powerful is your purpose determines your ability to pay for the next ladder of success. Because if your motivation, if your why is strong, the how becomes easy. How do I climb the ladder of success? Is it easy or difficult? How easy or difficult it is determined by how powerful your purpose is. And that's why today is talking about purpose, purpose, and purpose. One of the reasons why a lot of people are not successful is because of two things. One, fear of failure, and doubt and self-insecurity. I want you to embrace chances of failure. A lot of people, once they see that there's a chance of failure, they avoid it. They want 100% assurance of success before they do it. No. Even if there are chances of you failing, go and do it, because failure teaches you lessons. I'm not asking you to embrace and prepare for failure, but people who are not afraid to fail are the ones that win, because they are willing to either win or fail and learn from their failure. For every failure, there's a lesson. More than 90% of our limitations are as a result of fear of failure. Don't doubt yourself. You have the capacity. You can do it. You are worth the opportunity, the growth, the success that you aspire. One day, a successful person was driving. He saw someone begging on the streets with dirty cloth. And he looked closer. He said, that's my classmate when we were in primary school. He parked his car, went closer. He confirmed that was my friend. He asked him, what happened to you? He said, I lost my job. I lost my family. I'm homeless. I'm begging on the street now. They talked. They reminisced about their beautiful memory when they were children. And this successful person brought out a check, 100 million naira. He said, go and start your life. Go and start a new life. Take 100 million and start a new life. This beggar picked the check, went to the bank, and stood in front of the bank. He looked at the bank, looked at his body, how dirty and unclean he looks. He started doubting himself. Would they believe I'm the one with this much money? Would they believe that I didn't steal this check? What if they think I'm a scammer? What if they don't accept me? He was overwhelmed with doubt and self-insecurity, and he tore the check. He went back begging on the streets. A day after, the successful person came back and he said, what are you doing here? Didn't I just give you 100 million naira check to start your life? He said, I thought they would not accept me. Opportunity given to him, he rejected it because he did not believe he was worth the check. Life is not about absence of opportunity. It's the absence of your ability to think you worth those opportunities. So anytime opportunity comes, believe in yourself. Self-confidence. He said, the bank don't look at your body. The bank look at my signature. Once it's genuine, they will give you your money. He was overwhelmed with guilt. And there is no second chance. He lost all the money and continued begging on the streets. That's how a lot of people live. Opportunities absconded. So don't let opportunity let you go. Let go by just having your self-insecurity. Because let me give you one little secret that works for everyone. Is the word I call I will. I will. Anything you tell yourself, I will do it. I will become this. Of course, you add inshallah. Use that will. I call it willpower as a very plentiful power. But we don't use it. Someone has 1 trillion naira in his bank account, but he's withdrawing 1 naira every day. 1 naira, 1 naira. And he wants to buy so many things. That's your willpower. Withdraw a lot of checks from your willpower. Withdraw a lot of money from your willpower so that you can buy all the things you want to buy in life. Life is worthwhile only if you try. Give it a shot. If you learn from yourself, learn from other people. If you stay, be patient. Learn from a farmer. Farmer will plant a seed, will have to keep going back to the farm, monitor the farm, weed the farm, supervise the farm. That is your life. Stay and share. Share knowledge, share resources, share gifts. But sometimes you make mistakes. Admit your mistakes to yourself. Don't be arrogant to say, I'm always good. Reflect and admit. Have a council of your conscience where you sit by yourself with the council of your conscience and reflect on everything you've done in your life in this year and see what mistakes you've made. Reflect and admit it to yourself and make commitment to change in 2025. In 2025, one of my coaches said, you should embrace these 7 things. He said, hard work. I'm not going to spend much time on it, but you can just take the headings. He said, hard work. Most young people think life is easy. Yes, it could be easy, but sometimes things come the hard way. Hard work. Patience. You don't want to be rich today, tomorrow. You don't want to be like someone today, tomorrow. It took them years to achieve it. Be patient. Also, consistency. Whatever you become is subject of your consistency. What you do continuously is what you become. Sacrifice. There is no way your 2025 will be successful if you don't sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. Sacrifice. No sacrifice, no results. Discipline. I talked to you about discipline. Pick one habit, do it. Self-confidence. Believe in yourself. Self-confidence is not when you want everyone to like you. It's when you are okay when no one likes you. You believe in yourself. And always number 6 or number 7 is positive mindset. Always be positive. Think well about people. Think negative. Last year we talked about how to get rid of envy and anger. Whenever you think negative of someone, your challenge is to think of 10 more positive things about that person. Never be found in gossip or negative talk against someone. When you feel hatred towards someone, get closer to that someone. Identify positive things about that person and see those positive things. We are more good than bad because life is opportunity. 2 people face the same circumstances. One of them came out richer, the other poorer. It's just like a story of 2 business people who own shops. In the morning, it was so cold outside. One of them opened the window and saw that it was very cold outside. He went back to the bed and said, nobody will come out today because it's already cold. Customers will not come out. He went to the bed and slept. The other person, when he opened the window, he said, wow, it's so cold today. Now it's my chance to go and open my shop because other shop owners will not open today. The same experience, the same environment, condition, but action, reaction are different. So it's not about what happened to you, but what you do with what happened to you that determines whether you are successful in 2025 or not. Opportunity can only be harnessed if you have a purpose. You put someone in a position, he will abscond that position because he does not have a purpose. You give somebody a leadership position, he does not have a purpose, he misuse it. Opportunity is not what determines your success, but your purpose. Somebody is in the mosque, but they were gisting, they were chatting. Look at the opportunity. You're in the presence of God, but you are doing other things because you didn't tap into your purpose. The other person is reading Quran throughout the time. Opportunity the same, but how you utilize it are different. So today you have a choice to make, to change. To change is to improve, because if you don't change, I can predict your 2025 by just looking at your 2024. Because your 2024 or your 2025 will be the same as 2025. Your 2025 will be the same as 2024 if you don't change today. But the choice is yours if you want to change. If you change today, your income will change, your happiness will change, your relationship will change. Change comes from change. External change comes from internal change. The economy will not change. The government will not change. Only you can change. You might complain about the economy, you might complain about the government, but someone is thriving. Someone is achieving on the same economy you are complaining. So it all begins with purpose. And I want you to imagine purpose in two perspectives. Imagine you achieved your purpose. How do you feel? And imagine you didn't achieve your purpose. How do you feel? Because feeling is what gives you the energy to start. Without feeling, no energy. Without energy, no action. A lot of people have ideas in their head, but their hands are not doing it. Why? Because of the middle hedge, the heart. So for action to happen, the head, the heart, the hand must be in the same place. But people have the ideas in their head, but their hands are not doing it because the heart is missing. The heart is emotion. And emotions come from purpose. When you imagine the opposite of achieving your purpose. I want you to imagine, whenever it's in the morning, imagine you are in paradise. How do you feel? You feel happy and you want to get to the paradise, you want to go to the mosque. Or you've imagined that you are in hellfire, and because you want to avoid that hellfire, you now start going to the mosque. So that feeling is what made you to now raise and leave that bed and go to the mosque. So feeling. For every activity, you must have a purpose for it. But purpose is a skill, so you have to know how to design your purpose. But one of the most important things that feed the purpose is mindset. The father of purpose is called mindset. Thomas Edison, who invented fluorescent lights, who invented camera, who invented pictures, invented videos, improved telegraph, improved telephone. This decade of genius, one of the genius human being ever, Thomas Edison. When he was young, his teacher gave him a letter and said, give this letter to your mother. Only your mother. When the mother received the letter, she started crying. And she read to Thomas Edison. She said, your son, Thomas, is a genius. This school is too small for a genius kid like Thomas. I want you to take him to a better class, to a better school, or teach him yourself. And the mother folded the letter and kept it. Years passed by. Thomas Edison became one of the greatest inventors in the world. He invented fluorescent. He invented all this information. One day he was looking at the family old things. He saw a folded letter in a corner of a desk drawer. He picked it, he opened. He read. He read the exact content of the letter. It read, your son, Thomas, is an adult child. He cannot think clearly. He's a confused child. He has no capacity to study in this school. This school is bigger than Thomas, so teach him yourself. He realized that his mother read the wrong content of the letter. He cried for days and he picked his diary. He said, Thomas Edison is an adult child who cannot think clearly. But with the bravest and heroic mother, he became the greatest genius of the century. The power of mindset. If she told him the exact content of that letter, Thomas Edison would not have been Thomas Edison. He would have lost hope. He would have experienced what I call learned helplessness. The opposite of this story of feeding people with the wrong mindset is my famous and favorite story of the eagle. When a man was walking on the street, he saw the egg of an eagle. He picked that egg and put it in the net of a hen. The hen has some other eggs. The hen came and hatched all her eggs, including the eagle egg. The hen didn't know she was hatching an eagle egg. The eagle was born with other chickens. This baby eagle, was growing up with other chickens. He did everything that chickens do. He would poke in the dirt, he would clock around, he would fly 1 foot above the ground and come down. This eagle believed that he was a chicken. He didn't know that he was an eagle, because the environment, the people around him, they were all chickens. So he became chicken. One day, he looked up at the sky and he saw a majestic bird flying above the sky, even blocking the sun, flying majestically. And he asked, "What kind of bird is that?" His chicken colleagues said, "That's the eagle, the master of the sky, the king of the birds. You cannot be like him. So let us just go and poke in the dirt." This eagle lived and died as chicken. He didn't fly. He didn't become the master of the sky. He didn't become the king of the bird because of his mindset that says he's a chicken. What happened to you in 2025? It begins with your mindset. But you can always trick your brain, because your brain does not differentiate what you imagine and what is real. You can empower yourself through imagining things, through imagining powers, and your brain will believe it. And lastly, I want to introduce you to the principles of Dharma. Dharma is a Sanskrit word that means your ability to live fulfilling life, happy life. Dharma is spelled as D-H-A-R-M-A. Not the Dharma in this town, but there's H after the D. The Dharma has two components. There is Varna and there is Seva. Varna is Kamanda Hausani, V-A-R-N-A, and Seva is S-E-V-A. Varna is your passion and your skills. When these two come together, they become your talents. So your passion, your purpose in life must be aligned with your skills and your passion, which is Varna. I'm going to ask you some quiz question at the end. So Varna equals to passion plus skills. Whenever passion meets skills, it becomes talent. But what about the Seva? Seva is two things too. Seva is your ability to identify the needs of the people and your ability to selflessly serve other people. You live in Katsina, study Katsina town. Katsina town is lacking something. Let me come and solve this problem, fix this problem. Now you are doing Seva. Even if you are paid for it, you are still doing Seva. You are becoming useful. Selflessly serving other people is charity. You are also doing Seva. So for you to live a Dharma life is when you aligning your purpose with your Varna and your Seva. A person who is happy, fulfilled, is the one who is living his Dharma life. That his purpose, his actions are in line with his skills, his passion, the needs of the people, and serving other people. These are successful people. Some people will call me and say, "I want to start a business. I want to contest election." I say, "Why? Is it in line with your Dharma?" If it is not, don't do it. Just because other people are doing it, that does not mean you have to do it. Identify your Dharma. It's better to do your Dharma imperfectly than to do other people's Dharmas perfectly. If you don't live your Dharma, you will live other people's Dharma. Andre Agassi, he's 8 times Grand Slam winner of tennis. His father forced him to play tennis. He didn't like it. He became 8 times champion of tennis. But upon his retirement, he announced to the world, he shocked the world. He said he hated tennis. He didn't like tennis. it was my father that forced me to do it. So I was living my father's dharma, not my dharma. Now it's time for me now to live my dharma life. And that is why now he's using all his money to help children, provide them with basic needs, and open schools for them. That makes him happier. When he was playing tennis, he was angry, he was sad, he was not happy. But you can be like Andre. Andre will do other people's dharma to prepare himself to live his dharma later on. A person who is not living his dharma is like a fish out of water. No matter the accolades, the wells you give, the money you give to fish, fish will never be happy. Fish will ask you, put me back to the water. Do you want to be a fish out of water? If you are a fish out of water, you are living someone's dharma. Ask yourself, what is my passion? What is my skill? What can I do to be useful in society? What can I do to selflessly help other people? That is your dharma. In 2025, don't focus on your weaknesses. Focus more on your strength. But you have to be careful in finding your areas of weaknesses. A lot of people mistaken inexperience as weaknesses. For example, it's not that you have weaknesses in this area, it's only that you don't have experience. And there are certain areas you cannot accept for you to have weaknesses in those areas. For example, emotional intelligence. No way you should have weaknesses in emotional intelligence. And always ask yourself, do the matrix of passion, not passion, skill and not skill. Anything that you have passion and skill in doing it, do it. But you have passion for it, you don't have a skill, then that passion will help you get the skills. You don't have a passion, you have a skill for it. Now bring your passion into the skills. There are so many stories here I'm summarizing, but anything that you don't have passion for it, you don't have a skill for it, don't do it. Just delete it. So assess yourself, reflect yourself. What is the most valuable things in life? Who is the most successful person in life? Align your purpose with that person's. What is your strength? What is your passion? What is your experience? How can you serve other people? What will you be remembered for if you die? And set clear vision. You can even write it down. Personal, social, professional purpose. Like for me, I write my passion, my vision. My vision is to empower young people to achieve their potential through education and mentorship. And I always read that. And I want to live by that. What is your purpose? You can even break it down into goals. This is what makes me happy doing, because I'm pushing toward my purpose. You also need to be open and seek guidance. Share your purpose with your expert, with your mentors, and seek guidance from them. Get a character, somebody that you want to be like. This person might not even be alive. Somebody might be elsewhere in the world. And be open and evolving. When you set a purpose in January, it does not mean this purpose will continue to be there forever. Opportunities, challenges arise. Adjust your purpose as you move along. Do some tiny projects and see what resonates the most. And that way you can now practice your purpose. And last is when setting your goals in 2025, don't set a lower goals. Set higher goals. If I set my goals within my hand stretch, it's not empowering. But when I set my goals at the ceiling, my hand cannot reach it. That means I have to fly or get a ladder to stretch myself to touch my goal. So set a stretching goal. Any person you see, they are not based on what they are in terms of position or money, but they are what they are because of what they become. So set a goal not to achieve the goal, but to become something in the process of achieving that goal. So the juice, the benefits, the value is in what you became in achieving your goal. One of my coaches was told by his mentor and asked him to set a goal to be a millionaire. He said, it sounds nice to be a millionaire. He said, no, not just to spend money to impress people, but But I want you to set a goal to be a millionaire, just so that for you to do that, you have to be certain things. You have to learn new skills. You have to get new knowledge. You have to be braver. You have to have time management. You have to be punctual. You have to do so many things to achieve that goal of being a millionaire. And when you get that million naira or $1 million, I want you to dash it to someone else. Because that money is not important. What's most important is what you have become in the process of becoming that millionaire. So, in achieving your goal, don't look at the goal, but what have you become? If I become a professor, I didn't just become professor. Don't look at me as the professor. What have I become in the process of becoming the professor? I have to be a researcher. I have to be a thinker. I have to be a listener. I have to do so many. These are things that are more valuable than just a professor. So what you become is more important than what you have, or the position you have. If you see a governor, you see a politician, politically elected people, before they get to that position, they have to be certain things. One of the things they have to be is maybe patient, listeners, empathetic, sympathizers. Or sometimes political leaders have to be devious, manipulators. What are you becoming? So in job you are doing right now, what are you becoming? That's the most important question. The study that you are doing now, what are you becoming? Not just the degree, but who are you becoming? So the value is not in what you get, but what you become. So don't look at the money, look at the value. Anything that you want to do in life is not about the money. This workshop, a lot of money was spent, but we didn't look at the money. We look at the value, because the value is what matters. Some people cannot even buy a book worth 10,000 naira because they look at the money. They don't look at the value. So in 2025, base your decision based on value, not on the money. You can allow yourself to be bankrupt so that you can travel to attend a workshop. I have Abubakar here. He traveled all the way from Bauchi just to attend this workshop. We have Musa Saleh. Why is Musa Saleh? He came all the way from, why is Musa? He came all the way from Gombe State. They traveled over the night just to be here. Who has come from far, distant places? Raise your hand. Which state? Zamfara State. Let's clap for him. Which state? From Sokoto State. Wow. Which state? Okay, two of you Sokoto. Which state, sir? Jigawa State. Which state? All the way from Abuja. Let's clap for him. Which state? Cross River State. Wow. This is unbelievable. Really? You got to speak to us after this one. Let's clap for him once more. All the way from Cross River. And you see, you can learn from him because he invested so much in this. And I noticed that he was keenly paying attention because of the investment. So if you are not willing to invest money in your personal development, you will never grow. Because if you put so much investment, you won't take the best out of it. But if everything comes to you free, you don't value it. And today, we have the greatest gift for the year for you. Not just someone who dream about success, but someone who lived the success. Someone who achieved success not only in northern Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, not only in Africa, but the entire world. The package of knowledge that is before us today is something that when we unpack, is something that is enough for us for life. That there is no need for any workshop after today. We end it today. No more annual workshop. If you hear the story of Mr. Jelani Aliyu, you didn't need further motivation. You didn't need further workshop. You didn't need mentors. He is all these things in one. What a great opportunity to have him here. And On behalf of all the people of Katsina State and all the people seated here and our partners in this workshop, I want to use this moment to thank my mentor as well, my friend, Mr. Jelani Aliyu, to Katsina State. There is a lady called Hawa. Is Hawa in this hall? Hawa Muhammad. She talked to me. She wants to meet Jelani. Hawa is here? Okay, she's not here. Mr. Jelani has inspired a lot of young men and women for years. Now you have him here to do whatever you want to do with him. So he's here for you. In just a moment, we're going to have an introduction of Mr. Jelani, and then we give him the chance to speak to us freely for some moments, and then we open the floor for discussion, for you to ask any question you want to ask to Mr. Jelani. I want to thank you so much, sir, for agreeing to come here. I know it has not been easy to bring such kind of personality to Katsina State. We thank you so much for your humility. Thank you so much, and I want you to make best use of this moment. Remember, one moment can change your life. One story, one sentence can change your life. Remember, it's not about the opportunity. It's what you do with the opportunity. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Marhaban, Ahlan wa Sahlan, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm privileged to speak about a champion, one who exemplifies greatness in every endeavor. For truly to witness his journey is to see resilience, determination, and excellence in action. A champion isn't merely defined by victories, but by the spirit that drives them forward no matter the obstacles. Wata Mayu shekara ta 2017 zuwa October shekara ta 2023. Listen closely, for today I will not only talk about champion but evolution. He who led at the National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC. This isn't just about world turning, it's about minds turning, policy evolving, and dreams being driven forward. Nigeria has become the proud home of over $1 billion in automotive investment. Yes, $1 billion. It's not just a big number, it's a huge, tangible shift from names like Dangote, Honda, Lerashitu, and that of Stallion, Nissan, and Innocent. They didn't just invest, they rolled up their sleeves and started producing. He get it assembling here in Nigeria. This giant of automotive world aren't just sending cars to Nigeria, they are assembling them here, right here in Nigeria. And today, those cars are rolling off local assembly lines, ready to take on the world, all under the leadership and commitment of Jelani Aliyu. Jinjina ya tabbata ga jarumi. Hakika muna alfahari da kai, ba mamu ba, Najeriya gabaki daya sun san da kai. For he looked to the skies and to the earth beneath his feet, because he knew the future isn't about moving forward, but about building sustainability. He's not just building because he's building a future. Under his leadership, Nigeria has become a shining example of clean energy, of true 300% solar-powered electric vehicle, changing stations in Sokoto, Lagos, and Asuka. Imagine driving your electric car, your Nigeria-made electric car, knowing that the fuel to power it is coming from the sun you all, Jelani Aliyu. He said he will not just meet standards, he will set them. This isn't just a talk, it is an action. Jelani is focused on something deeper. He's focused on the people, on you and me, on the youth of Nigeria, turning his gaze into e-mobility. That's why he spearheaded the creation of 18 automotive training centers across the country, from Lagos to Kano, empowering thousands of young Nigerians with the skills to design, build and maintain the cars of tomorrow, from the hum of an engine to the spark of a new idea. People pounder. They're merely pounder. An I2 pounder. Who is this individual? Is he truly a human, or does he transcend the ordinary, possessing as friends something of presence that fills beyond the realms of mere mortals? Yes, yes. Jelani Aliyu isn't just a dreamer, he is a doer. He's a Nigerian who has stepped up to lead the charge, bringing together local and international partners to ensure that Nigeria is not just a player in the automotive world, but a champion. This is more than just a job. It is a movement to put Nigeria on the map, to push boundaries and so to lead the world of automotive design, innovation, and sustainability. Burden Sokoto. Baturan Arewa, mai makogaran zinari, yabon gwani, ai ya zama dole. Idan yayi turanci, ai ko baturan sai ya sara mishi. Jelani Aliyu, the designer of 2002 Big Rendezvous. Jelani Aliyu, the designer of 2004 Opel Astra. Jelani Aliyu, the designer of 2004 Pontiac G6. Jelani Aliyu, the designer of 2007 Chevrolet Volt. Jelani Aliyu, the designer of Bumblebee. Jelani Aliyu, the designer of 2014 Chevrolet Camaro. Jelani Aliyu, the designer, the man who designed this, the man who designed that. Jelani Aliyu, MFR. My name is Fadila Isa Idris. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. I am Khadija Ado Usman, and I claim to be a rising poet, while they title me as the rapper poet. I will be presenting Driven by Wheels as the title of my poem. Engineers are architects of the highway, builders of the driveway, carvers of Steinway, producers of caraway. With no delay, I present to you a renowned automobile engineer, not from Monto, but Sokoto. Shh, do you hear it? The roar of an engine breaking silence, the science in the vault with his patience. An automobile engineer in our presence, Mr. Jelani Aliyu with patience, guided and succeeded in the creation of Chevrolet Volt. Now speeding along the asphalt with no default in the exhaust. They called him a dreamer, but dreams are the seeds of recoil, and he dared to water his with engine oil. From the dusty roads of Sokoto to the bustling highways of Detroit. Now speeding along the asphalt with no default in the exhaust. Now at a point to anoint and appoint a saint to paint at a joint with no complaint. Who knew a boy beneath the African sun would rise to reimagine the automobile? Not just a car, but a story of hope wrapped in steel and glass. He is a proof that the wheels of possibilities are limitless, turning sketches into symphonies of boats, ideas into a car that hums with purpose. To the youth who see only limits, Mr. Jelani Aliyu says, look again. Let's look beyond the horizon of doubt, for he is a master of blueprints, a designer of chassis, and cars so classy. Thank you.
I grew up in Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria, Sokoto, in the capital of Sokoto State. And I've always loved cars since I was a little kid. And my brothers and dad also loved cars a lot. And I love drawing, so I thought I'd put the two together to really go into car design. And as you know, there's nothing like that in Nigeria. Actually, in the whole of Africa, there's no car design. So I had to go outside Nigeria to study automobile design.
When he arrived in the USA, Jelani Aliyu, like many newcomers to a different country, had some challenges.
The hardest thing, I think, was the weather. Especially, I came in the middle of January. So in the middle of winter, I left Nigeria. It was very, very hot. Sokoto, coming to Michigan, very cold. So that was really the biggest challenge that I had. And the school itself was very, very challenging because a lot of people wanted to get into car design, but there were only a few spots. So you really had to be one of the best to get in there. And the competition between the students was really stiff.
Despite these challenges, Jelani excelled as a student and left a memorable impression among his teachers and fellow students.
I found Jelani exceptionally gifted as a designer, but more surprising was, of all the students we had at CCS at that time, he spoke English better than any of the American students who were there. And indeed, I gave him the title Poet Laureate of Transportation Design because not only were his designs very high standard, but his verbal presentation of his design were exceptional. I mean, the best I've ever had from any student.
He always asked the question that was the most searching and that had the most profound consequences. Other students would ask questions like, if we see this building, can we assume that it's in 1910? And Jelani, his question would be more like, what characteristics of 1910 buildings allow me to identify them? You see, there's a greater depth and a greater searching on his part than most of my students. And the other students, I think, it elevated the class as a whole because of that.
Upon graduating from college, Jelani was hired by General Motors as a car designer. Today, he is one of the top car designers in the world, and his design philosophy is heavily influenced by his humble beginnings in northern Nigeria.
You know, car design, because it takes quite a while between the time you come up with the concept, between that and the time it hits the road, it takes a while, so we're always dealing with the future. So in car design, you must be able to really look down the road, see what the competition is, and come up with solutions. And I personally, grown up in Africa, I take a lot of my inspiration from nature. And I try to pull from that and put into my designs. For example, you know, when you look at planet Earth, you see that we live on a truly magical planet. It's a gigantic orb of light hurtling through space. Everywhere we look around us, we're surrounded by wonders of our natural world. From the tiny leaf, only fractions of a millimeter thick, and yet highly efficient factory, to the amazing sea rays that glide within the deep waters of the Atlantic. Planet Earth is a perfect balance of beauty and practicality. So I reach into nature, take my inspiration, learn from it, and apply it to car design.
Recently, Jelani received global acclaim for leading the design team for the Chevrolet Volt, a car that is seen as the future of General Motors, one of the world's largest car maker.
That from General Motors' point of view, the Volt was a car that was representing the future of General Motors. The fact that every designer at General Motors was given the opportunity to design that car, and all the designers at General Motors, not only in the United States, but in Britain and Germany, submitted ideas for this project because it was considered so important. And the fact that Jelani's design was the one chosen out of maybe 200 submissions from all the designers at General Motors speaks volumes about his potential and his growth and where he will eventually wind up.
Despite his achievements, Jelani is still truly Nigerian and holds everything about his home country to heart. He is particularly troubled by the negative perceptions about Nigeria created in the global media.
In life, everything has its positives and negatives, and you can find something wrong with any community, with any part of the world. And it's not right to really talk about the negative about Nigeria. The positive far exceeds the negative. And that's what I dwell on. I just keep focused. And I know people might think negatively, but there's a lot of Nigerians. I think Nigerians as a whole are doing good, and they're contributing significantly to the development of the United States, to the development of a lot of countries around the world, and most especially their own country. So I keep that as my focus, and I use that to just continue going forward.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Associate Professor Ahmed Adamu, Honorable Commissioner, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, attendees, I'm indeed very excited and honored to be with you today. This is definitely an incredible event. This is a fourth of its kind, and I can really tell by the passion of the professor and the other presenters that this is really an endeavor that would not only begin or continue to add value, but of great significance to not just Katsina, but our nation in general. You know, each time I get off the plane, when I arrive Katsina, and the vehicle begins to drive through the city, it reminds me of Sokoto. Everything is just very, very similar. The vegetation, the temperature, everything. So it's a great honor and a pleasure to once again be in this great city, this great state with a lot of heritage, a lot of very important history for all of us. This is a great opportunity. Thank you once again, Prof, for having me here. Very exciting. What I hope to do today is talk a little bit about my, story, where I started, how far it has been, how exciting it has also been. I was born in Kaduna, but I actually grew up in Sokoto. So my earliest memories are from Sokoto. Went to the primary school called Capital School, and that was where I really began to understand what the world is made up of, because I had friends and we had teachers from all over the world. The principal herself was from the UK, so were a lot of our teachers. We had friends also from India, from Europe itself, and from other parts of Asia. So I grew up in Sokoto, but I immediately became very aware of what a big world we all live in, how interconnected we all are. After that, I moved on to Federal Government College, Sokoto. There I met people from all over this great country, from the north itself, the west, central part of the country, and the east. Had friends from all over the country. And I think that began to solidify my love for this great nation. I understood more and more what a fantastic group of people we are, each one of us with unique histories and heritage, and yet coming together to build this great nation. I love drawing a lot. I was always drawing. Yes, I listened to the teachers, but I was also drawing in my books. I was drawing in my biology books, in my geography books. And I also fell in love with imagination. Just sitting down on a chair or standing up or while riding my rally chopper, just imagining stuff. What if? You know, I was surrounded by certain environments, but my world, I did not allow my world to be limited by what was immediately around me. I knew very early on that you can learn about great places. You can think about great places. You can imagine to be in many very different great places. We were very fortunate. Our dad had a small library at home with books, you know, and writings from many sources. I often lost myself in that library, just going through the encyclopedia, the different books, learned about Egypt, outer space, you know, other worlds, a lot of science. I also got to read about and saw pictures of amazing cars designed by great designers. You know, Ferraris designed in Italy by Pininfarina, or the Lamborghinis designed also in Italy by Bertone, and they inspired me. I mean, each time our brother would come back from a trip, when he'd come back with magazines of cars, we would just go crazy looking at those crazy designs. And I think that formed my passion. I wanted to be like those designers. I read about them, I saw what they did. I wanted to be like them. So when you're being inspired, it doesn't have to be someone, like Professor said, that's immediately there. You can be inspired by people from another era. You can be inspired by people from another culture, from another part of the world, and I think that's what happened. So Pininfarina, Bertone, they inspired me. I wanted to be a car designer. You know, I looked around and there weren't any automotive design schools in Nigeria. Even in Africa, there weren't. But I really wanted to be one. After graduating from FGC Sokoto, I got admitted to ABU. Also at that same time to the University of Lagos. So it was, okay, where do I go? I think ABU was the obvious choice because I already had a sister there studying, and Lagos at that time was like, wow, a million miles away. So I chose ABU. Went there together with a couple of friends who I had met at FGC Sokoto, and actually even some from Capital School. I was there for some time, but I wasn't really too crazy about continuing there. I thought I'd change course, or change university. I had the opportunity to also go to other schools, other universities, but I said no, I would go to a polytechnic, Brindikebe Polytechnic, to study architecture. I really wanted to dive into the practical aspect of things. So I did that. But all the while, my dream was really to become a car designer. So the things going through my mind, how do I do it? Where do I go to do this? So those people that inspired me You know, they were miles away in Italy, Europe, also in the US. I began to look into how did they get there? What had they become? What were the paths that they had taken to become these distinguished car designers? Well, definitely the passion, tons of drawing on their own, and then they went to school to study that art and that discipline. So where would I go to study automotive design? First choice was actually Italy, land of the Ferraris and Lamborghinis. So I wrote to the school, Scuola Politecnica di Automobili Torino, a school in Turin, and they sent a brochure. You know, this was way before internet. So I picked the brochure up at the post office. I went through it. I really wanted to go to Italy, you know. But then, you know, at that time, they only taught in Italian. So I would have had to learn Italian before I could really go into automotive design. I thought, yeah, you know, Italian is a beautiful language, but I didn't really want to have to go through learning another language. I just wanted to just jump into automotive design. So I couldn't go there. England, you know, RCA, Royal College of Art, also looked at that, but they only offered at that time master's program, and I was just out of, you know, I needed to do the undergraduate, so I couldn't go there either. So I was visiting a cousin of mine in Sokoto, and he had this book, thick book with all the American colleges in it. Immediately grabbed it, took it back home, flipped through to the, you know, part where it listed all the American art and design schools, and I chose two of them. One was in Michigan, College for Creative Studies, and the other one, Art Center College of Design in Pasadena. I saw this magnificent building of a CCS in Detroit, and then they have the big three car companies also with their headquarters in Michigan. So I said, I think I'll apply to the College for Creative Studies Michigan. I did that along with my portfolio, you know, a couple of my designs that I had done. I had cars, I had sneakers, I had motorcycles and other products. Sent it off to the US. After a while, same post office, went, and I was surprised one day that admission letter came in. That was a great day. So, tons of money to go to that school. I applied for a scholarship, Sokoto State Scholarship Board. I went in for an interview, sat in front of the chairman and all the other board members. Also took along with me some of my drawings and designs that I had done. Alhamdulillah, I got the scholarship and off to the United States. I arrived in Michigan in the middle of winter in January. So here I was, you know, I grew up in Sokoto, very hot, flew right in the middle of winter to the United States, to one of the coldest places on the planet. It was very cold. So, but I tried to adjust to the weather as quickly as I could. I knew that what took me there was my passion to become a car designer. You know, I left, like I say, to go to the US, not because I was unhappy with Nigeria, not at all. I had a wonderful childhood, very closely knit family, brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, nieces, great times. I left Nigeria to go to the US because I wanted to better myself. I had a dream and a passion to become a car designer, and that was why I went. So it was an opportunity for me really to achieve that dream. The College for Creative Studies was very exciting, but very tough too, very tough. There was hardly any time for anything else but homework and assignments. Day in, day out, if you slow down a little bit, you are left behind. Graduated after the 4 years, and I was actually making plans to come back to Nigeria because scholarship, you know. So I tried to call the Nigerian embassy to to ask them to buy me my one-way ticket back to Nigeria. And for one reason or the other, I couldn't get through to the lady who was in charge of those tickets. And so this was in the basement. Everybody had moved out, it had gone home, school had closed. And I saw a friend of mine through the window, and I said, I'll just go over to that lady. I would have taken the next plane back home. Yes. So, you know, it's very important to know and to believe in what you are, where you've come from, that regardless of where you're from, you can achieve your dream, inshallah. The world is always beyond what is right in front of you. It's a gigantic world with tons of opportunities. I grew up in Sokoto, but I believe at that time, to the best of my knowledge, knew a lot about places beyond Sokoto. And I sort of focused my attention on them and did all that I could to achieve that dream. So I urge you all, especially our youth, to look beyond your immediate surrounding, to look beyond your immediate town, city, the group of people that you hang out with, and look at the world. Especially now with the, interconnectivity, with, there's powerful computers in the palms of your hands. You have access to information and opportunities from around the world. But never forget that you are Nigerians. Never forget who you are, where you've come from, and how you must, and I insist on that, you must add value to who you are and where you're from. You know, when you have the opportunity to travel around the world and see other places and see how far they have gotten, what they have been able to achieve, the only difference between them, or the only difference between any advanced nation and Nigeria, is what is in our minds. As technology advances, it continues to create and offer a level playing ground to each and every human. So what you do with those opportunities to better yourself and your community is up to that individual. You know, they say whatever, you take a young man in the middle of New York, right? You give him a computer or a very powerful, smartphone. You take the same aged young person in any town. Let's not even talk about Lagos or Abuja or Kano. Let's talk about a small village somewhere. You give him that same equipment with the same capacity. Whatever that young man can do in New York in terms of operating that equipment and coming up with solutions, that young man in Nigeria can do the same. So we're in a moment in this nation's history that is very crucial. And we have two options, right? We have problems. Yes, we do. We have challenges. But we must not allow ourselves to be defined by those challenges. There are challenges everywhere. We must only be defined by our dreams and aspirations, by what we can achieve by a better tomorrow. And we can do it. So I had a dream. I never gave up. When I was growing up, a lot of people thought I was really crazy. Hey, why don't you stop drawing, go out and play football, go out and do this and that. But I had a vision that I stuck to. So GM, I worked for about 3 years at GM in Michigan. Then I got sent to Germany for about 2 years. And I took a great opportunity there. It was so closer to Nigeria. I was able to come more often to Nigeria. And I got married while I was in Germany. and then we went back to the US. Back to the US, the project I first worked on right after Germany was the Pontiac G6. Now, if I sort of go back a little bit, I had always, when I was growing up in Nigeria and Sokoto, one of the things that really, I think, shaped the way I thought was TV. Watching TV, but not just any type of TV. There were certain programs that played a huge role in how I added to my imaginative capability. These were sci-fi movies. You know, in sci-fi movies, they talk about, you know, going up on a spacecraft to Mars or beyond into outer space, and they talked about alien worlds, and you really upped your imagination. So even working at GM with that background, I was always into thinking of the most advanced automotive designs. If I were to design a vehicle, it wouldn't be just a normal car, but something advanced. And on a couple of occasions, whenever I did designs, I mean, they would say, yes, very good, but this vehicle, this design is just too advanced. We're not ready to do it. So when I came back from Germany, I went into the Pontiac studio, and this project came up to do the next mid-size Pontiac. And at that time, that division, Pontiac, was looking for a new direction. They were looking for a new direction. And I think that ability to design something that was different played a role in designing the Pontiac G6, which was a departure for Pontiac from the old traditional way of doing things, coming up with something new. Years after that, an opportunity came up to design a vehicle that would define the future of GM. GM was coming up to be 100 years old, and the company needed a design to showcase what the future of that company would be. So all the designers were asked to come up with a project, with their own interpretation of what that vehicle needed to be. So we all took a stab at it. There was us there in Michigan, the UK, and also in California. So out of those 200 designs, 5 were chosen. Mine was one of those 5. And then out of those 5, 2, they set aside this particular day where all the big shots of GM would come, go through the 5, and they said that would be when they would make their decision of this one vehicle that would define the future of GM. So we did all our designs, we had them set up in this room, and then we walked out. But we could see through the window these big shots, the vice president design, the top designers, design executives. We could see them through the window walking from one presentation to the other. And when they were all done, we were asked to come in so that we would hear the results. And so we all walked up, and then they said that they had a very good show, and the vehicle chosen to move forward to represent the future of GM was my design. So it was quite a very humbling experience. Very grateful to the Almighty Allah for having given me that opportunity. That Chevrolet Volt did something very special. Round about then, GM actually went bankrupt not long after the Volt concept car had been debuted. GM went bankrupt. So GM, Ford, the other company, the other competition, went in front of Congress. GM went in front of the leadership of the US. This was under Obama. And they asked for money, billions of dollars to bring back the company or keep it from, really going under. Round about then, a lot of people were being laid off by GM. So they said they needed the help of the US government. And the US government asked them, okay, you want money. We know why you got into this rut, because you have been producing these gigantic pickup trucks that were gas guzzlers and no one was buying them. You're going bankrupt. If we give you money, what would you do with it? What would you do differently from what you had been doing before? And the leadership of GM said, here, this is a Chevrolet Volt. This is a type of vehicle that we would be doing moving on. And the US government said, okay, great solution, and got the bailout. So the Volt was instrumental in allowing the US government to see the value of what the future of GM needed to be. You know, like I said, I left to go to the US, not because I wanted to get away from Nigeria. No. So in 2017, I received a phone call that President Muhammadu Buhari had offered me a job to come back and lead an agency back in Nigeria. So I had two options in front of me. Do I just accept this immediately and come back? Because I really love this country. Or do I say no and continue to work for GM because I really love automotive design and I had a fun time out there? What do I do? It was both a hard and an easy decision. It was hard because I was going to give up being a car designer for a company that was so great. It was easy because it was accepting a job to come back and play my small role in moving this country forward. So I chose to come back home. And typically with GM, they really don't get too happy when you want to leave them. Because, you know, they're operating in a space where they're competing with other companies, with Honda, with Toyota. So they don't want their people leaving them and possibly ending up working for other companies. I've known particular, examples where GM designers got a job for some other company and they wanted to leave, right? And with GM, if you leave, if you tell them you're leaving and they're sure you are, they escort you right away. It's not about like in 2 hours or 3 hours. Right away, they escort you to the gate. Okay, see you later. Because there's so much sensitive information there, they don't want it moving on with you. So, after I got a call and decided to accept, I said, okay, what do I do now? I know that as soon as I tell management that I'm leaving, I'll just go out the door. So before then, all my personal belongings, all my things, I just took them home. All I had was the GM cell phone that I would just hand over on that last day and the badge. So very early in the morning that day, I went and I said to the design director that I wanted to speak with him. I had something very important to tell him. Nobody else was in the studio then. So he said, yeah, sure, Jelani. So I went over to the coffee room, sat down, and I said, well, our president has asked me to go back home and head an agency called the NADDC. He said, okay. He didn't even comment, right? He said, okay, let's go to human resources. Let's go to human resources right there. And I knew that the procedure was you go to human resources, and from there, you're out the door. So we got. So we went, the two of us, straight up to human resources. And we sat down with the lady, and he mentioned to her what was happening. And then she paused for a while, and then she said, wow, that is great. Your own country wanting you to go back and work for them. So go back to your studio, think of where you want to go, get ready, and then we'll finish the paperwork. So it was different for me, alhamdulillah. I went back and sort of worked out everything and set a date to leave and came back to Nigeria. And as you know, the NADDC is a parastatal under the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, charged with the responsibility of developing the local automotive sector. It works very closely with companies that have set up production in Nigeria. And so it was a great opportunity to come back home, place that I really, really love, and to play my role in that. One of the greatest things that I'll forever be fortunate to have had the opportunity to do was to promote vehicle electrification. Vehicles powered by electricity, you charge them up, as you know. We've come with that vehicle, I think, at least once here to Katsina, the last time we were here, to showcase what we do. So we were able to get electric vehicle assembly online in Nigeria. And I believe right now there are a couple of companies in the country assembling, if not producing, electric vehicles. Like I say, yes, we have problems, but we must not be defined by those problems. There is a write-up that I did a while back, and I think it is relevant that I sort of take it here. We must never underestimate the significance of human imagination, the ability to envision a dramatically positive and dynamic future. Because every great city, every monument, every historic feat, as it stands for all the world to see, was once pure thought. Pure imagination acted upon and brought into reality. To imagine is to dream. To dream is to tune into the ever-amazing possibilities of the future. And when we do dream, it must be big. Because to dream small is to totally underestimate the amazing capabilities that lie within each and every one of us. Our own country, Nigeria, from the Atlantic shoreline in the south, through the grasslands of the Middle Belt, all the way to the rolling hills and bright blue skies of the north, Nigeria is truly a magnificent and blessed country. Yes, we have crude oil, and yes, we have natural gas and a wide variety of raw materials, and yes, we have fertile soil that could be cultivated to feed hundreds of millions. But above all, what we have is our humanity, that magical inner spirit that glows from within, that magical inner spirit that makes us an integral and crucial part of the human civilization. And so we must see ourselves not just as Nigerians, but as members of a global community, sharing constructive ideas, sharing inspirations, and together coming up with solutions for the betterment of humanity worldwide. And we as Nigerians must not be afraid of success, but we must individually and collectively focus on progressive opportunities and solutions. Those powerful capabilities that reside within each and every one of us must be reawakened. And it all starts in the mind. If you can imagine it and clearly see it in your mind, then you're halfway there. Then you can easily strategize, jump into action, and bring it into reality. Once again, we must never be defined by the challenges. We must only be defined by what we can achieve. We must only be defined by a better tomorrow, because nothing is impossible. There are no impossibilities. There's only a better Nigeria to build. When we once again look at places that have advanced, that have really gone far in technology and living standards, we often tend to dismiss, this is Nigeria, we can't do this. Only this country or that country can do it. We must also believe that we are also capable of creating that better Nigeria that we all deserve. So have a dream, never give up regardless of what anybody says. Go for it. And inshallah, this is a nation of incredible accomplishments. Thank you very much.
Allah ya biya bukatar ka, mu ma ya biya bukatar mu. Jelani ya kyau, lalayo mu zo mu gai, yau da san Katsina, Alhaji na ta gaida ka. Alhaji na ta gaida ka. Jelani ya kyau, lalayo mu zo mu gai, yau da san jama'a da alheri kun je alheri, yau da san jama'a da alheri kun je shedan ba, bai san da girman kai ba, girman kai yana da ban haushi don walla ba ta zo. Bari dan Sokoto na gode, Hajji na ta gai, bari na Sokoto Jelani, Hajji na ta bar dan Sokoto Jelani, Alhaji na ta gai, a ile mujaddadi Usmanu, Hajji na ta gai da ka, Jelani ya kyau, lalayo mu zo mu gai, idan na tafi in ga Jelani, aka ce mani na tafi in ga Jelani, aka ce mani bai gida, yara so ka ce mani bai gida zaune, ashe wai ya wuce, ka dagale ka ya wuce, mala daga mara zai wuce, daga mara zai wuce, ina daga ce da zai wuce, jeta daga jeta zai wuce, maka daga maka zai wuce, lebe daga Ghana zai wuce, Libya daga Libya zai wuce, Nijar daga Nijar zai wuce, daga Togo zai wuce, Mali daga Mali zai wuce, Chade daga Chade zai wuce ka, amma tafiya basira ce dan gyara. Jelani ya kyauta, yau mu zo mu gaida, Jelani ya kyau, baɗewa mu zo mu gaida, Gorobe so jere, baya tsoraya, Sokoto ba jama, baya tsoraya, barjan Sokoto ba jama, baya tsoraya, barjan Sokoto. Aleyo la yare kamamun, baya zoraya, bardan Sokoto aja ba. Uban kede yana gaishe, na gode o, na gai kai ba ka ja aja ba da ma go waja da masu ilimi masu arzuki suna tare da masu ilimi masu arzuki suna tare da aido tijo baya tsoron yake bar da sokoto ba da ba abin biya kaka da tijo kowa bi kaya na
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Zardin Rabiu. I'm welcome you all and I'm welcome Mr. Jelani Aliu, the Director General, National Automobile Design and Development Council. You are welcome, you sir. I'm here to present I'm trying to design car. I'm not call myself car designer in front of Mr. Jelani Aliu. I'm here to present some of my design which I come with it, which is here. If it is allowed, I want to present it to Mr. Jelani Aliu. Cardboard. And I use it to recharge it. It's recharged. Yes. Yes, it's USB. Yes. It's running. And I put music inside. Let me play it. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Good afternoon once again. I'm back for announcement. I'm going to give the financial report of Readers of 2024. Afterwards, people that are not here when we present the certificates are here, will be presented by their certificates. And after that, we are going for prayer, lunch, and a short break. Then we come back for the interactive session. So please, move the slides. Next. So this is the content of my slides. Statement of financial position, statement of comprehensive income, statement of cash flows. Please, you can go to the next, to the time. So our total income for last year is 520,666 naira. That is as of December 2023. And as I'm speaking now, December 30th, 2024, our total income is 600 608,312 naira. Our total expenditure for last year is 617,556 naira, and for as at now 30th December 2024, our total income is of expenditure is 576,118 naira. Please, you can go to the next slide, Musa. Then our total assets. As of last year, our total asset valued at 1,164,942 naira. As of this year, as at 30th December 2024, our total asset valued at 1,350,252 naira. And most of this asset is of our books that we have in our library. Musa, you can go to the next slide, please. So our statement of account, as at today, 30th December, the total cash in our account is 32,194 naira. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, there are some certificates for some of our contributors that we would like to present. They are now around. Prof. Ahmed Adamu, please, sir, if you will help us give this certificate. Yes. The Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Rural and Social Development. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, the first is AC Tasu Solawa, sir, who graciously donated 50 books worth 200 naira to us. And much of this asset that you see were from the books. Next is Malan Naupal Ahmad, DG Kandik, for his immense contribution to the hub, sitting with the team to provide valuable insight and contributing financially to our activities. Next is Yusuf Umar Usman to collect his own and that of Dr. Mustafa Shehu for their immense contribution to the hub, financially, resources, ideas, and everything. Then Zubair Mukhtar Musa, who transformed live streaming of the Readers Hub. We wanted to have some gadget to start live streaming, but we couldn't raise all the gadget we wanted. In fact, we don't even have a phone. And everything, he is using his own personal phone to cover our programs and live stream them. We are very much grateful for your contributions. Then Abdul Ahad Musa, who is an accountant and offered to be our external auditors and audit our accounts free. Thank you all. We are very much grateful. Jazakumullahu khairan.
So we are taking a break for lunch and prayers, and we get back here by 2 p.m. sharp for interactive session. Thank you.